Chocolate lovers, get ready. This simple dessert packs so much chocolate in each little bite. It starts off with a decadent chocolate cake, which is really moist and rich in chocolate flavor. Once baked, it's filled with a chocolate sauce and then topped with silky smooth chocolate frosting. Told you it was simple, and the best thing is it's a crowd pleaser. I guess you're taking it to your next gathering now, right? Let's begin by making that chocolate cake. So we're actually going to be adding some boiling water to a jug, and then we're going to be adding some instant coffee powder on top. You want to whisk that together before adding some buttermilk. Whisk that all in and set it aside for a second because we want to prep the dry ingredients. So add your flour, some cocoa powder, baking powder, bicarb soda, and some salt to a large mixing bowl. Whisk that together. To a separate bowl, we're going to be adding the unsalted butter, caster sugar, brown sugar, and vanilla extract. We're going to whisk that for about 3 minutes until everything is creamed, pale, and fluffy. Then add your eggs, 3 of them, one at a time, whisking each time and scraping before adding the next egg. Add half of your dry ingredients and half of your wet ingredients and whisk that in. Then add the remaining wet and dry ingredients and repeat. Today I'm going to be using a 9 by 13 inch baking tin, which is about 1 inch in height, and I'm going to spray it with some oil spray and line it with baking paper, so the bottom and all 4 sides. Here's a little handy tip. Using these little clips on the sides, which are just basically regular clips. By the way, they have no paint on them, which means that they're not going to release any toxic fumes in the oven, is actually a really great way to hold that baking paper in place so it doesn't fly around in the oven. Pour that chocolate batter in there, and then you're going to bake this for about 35 or 40 minutes and then let it cool. Let's prep that chocolate glaze that's going to go on top of the cake and in the cake. It's really simple. 2 ingredients is all you need. You're going to be adding some sweetened condensed milk and some cooking chocolate. I'm using dark chocolate. I'm going to add a little pinch of salt in there, and we're going to microwave this for about 1 minute until everything is smooth and really well combined. Use the end of a wooden spoon to poke holes in your baked and cooled cake, and then pour that glaze on top. That glaze, while it's still really warm, is going to seep into the holes that you just created and make this cake even more decadent. Spread that around, and then let's move on to making the frosting, which is really easy. So you want to add some unsalted butter, which is softened, into a large mixing bowl. I'm using an electric hand mixer to whip this up for about 3 minutes until it's pale and fluffy. Then I'm going to add some cocoa powder and powdered sugar. Sift that in there just to make sure that there's no lumps. And I'm going to add a little bit of salt as well. We're going to whisk that in until everything is really well combined, and you want to make sure that you scrape down at least once, just to make sure that everything at the bottom of the bowl does get mixed in properly. That frosting is done, and we're ready to finish this cake off. So we're going to be spreading that frosting around, which I don't know about you guys, but I could just stare at me spreading this frosting around all day. Now, here is one of my favorite things about this cake. It's not necessarily the chocolate shavings, which are really delicious, but it's the sea salt flakes that make this cake even tastier. And if you've never tried this, I was skeptical, but I'm all about salt and sweets now. It just intensifies the flavors. If you'd like to try this absolutely gorgeous and simple chocolate cake, the recipe is on my website, thescranline.com. Link for that is in the description box below. Guys, make sure you're subscribed and hit the like button if you enjoyed this video, because I upload every week. If you'd like to see more recipes from me, they're up on screen right now. And thank you for joining me in my kitchen. I'll see you all on the next episode of the Scran Line. God, I could go for a slice of this right now.